Do you know what the top 3 things are that are holding you back from achieving true excellence and true influence? Well, hi, my name is Leonard Kim. I'm out here in New York City at the Oculus Rift building. The reason we're out here today is because we've been invited by a TV show, which is kind of like The Apprentice meets Shark Tank, to help entrepreneurs really go out there and refine their message and build their personal brands. Now, my background, just so you know a little bit about me, I've done a TEDx talk on why you should let your fears guide you. Then I've been featured in a ton of different publications for random things about my expertise. And all that happened because I went out there to build a personal brand. And now what I want to do is I want to cover the top 3 things that you really are having trouble with to achieve that true influence. Number 1 is you're probably an expert, but no one outside your company knows it. Let's say you work at Intel, IBM, Cisco, whatever it may be. You're working at this big company making the big bucks, but guess what? No one outside of that company knows you're an expert at what you do. Why is that a problem? Let's say you get a layoff one day. Then what do? You can't show people that you're an expert because no one knows who you are. Let's say you have to go and move up for another promotion. Let's say you don't want to be a director anymore and you want to become a vice president, or maybe make your way to the C-suite. You need to showcase your expertise to the outside world so people know that you're truly as influential as you are. Now, what's the next problem? The next problem is, actually before I get to the next problem, let me talk a little bit about the solution to that. What you have to do is you have to showcase your content to the outside world, get your thought leadership out there so more people recognize that you are the expert that you truly are. And when you do that, that opens up more job opportunities. That opens up more ability for advancement within your career. That allows more people to come to you to seek out your expertise. And that could lead to speaking engagements, book deals, and what else? Now, the number 2 thing that people do is they think they have to portray themselves as an expert, or they have to portray themselves as a perfect figure. Guess what? I just made a blip right there. Now, see, people are people, and we make mistakes. And what happens is when you portray that picture of perfectness, people aren't able to relate to you or connect to you. They're like, oh, this person's so perfect, I can never become like them. I could never work with them. I have nothing that I could relate to them on. What you have to do is you have to put in your vulnerabilities. You have to put in your weaknesses, your failures. Because guess what? That's all part of a person. Have you ever heard of that study of that person who was like walking and they kind of tripped on the way to the podium before they gave their talk? Guess what? When they made that trip, people began to like them more because they're like, oh, this person's human just like me. And even though they were a little clumsy, it built that connection and made people relate to them a lot more. And what does that do? That drives differentiation. That creates loyalty, and that builds true connection with the people that you're speaking with. Now, how's that for a benefit, right? Now, the third thing that people have trouble with is they have to go out there and they have to call people or go out there and look for a new business. You know what I hate doing? When I was 21, I used to do sales. And it was great because I worked at a dealership and people came to me. But then when I moved further into my career, like around 23, I had to call people and be like, hey, do you want to buy my service? And that's the worst thing in the world to do because you have to go out there and look for people who want your stuff and then sell them on it too. Imagine if you could flip that situation all around, kind of like how I was working at the dealership, and have people come to you instead looking for what you have to offer. Guess what? It changes everything. Now, how do you go out there and do that? I've been creating content for the last 4 years. I got over 10 million reads on my content, and people have seen my videos, my talks, and all this different stuff in the media. And guess what happens from that? People start contacting me. What ends up happening is they go to my site, influencetree.com, and when they go there, they're like, hey, you could hire Leonard? Oh, let me click this button. They fill out information. They put in their budget, they put in what they want to accomplish, they put in all their personal information, so all I have to do is schedule a call with them and just close it. And guess what? People from major companies, Fortune 100 companies, consulting firms, venture capitalists, and all these other people come to me for my expertise just because of all the content that's out there. I don't have to go looking for a single client. I haven't even looked for a single one. I've never made a call to anyone saying, hey, do you want to work with me? Instead, they come to me, which is a great thing. Now, so let's wrap this up. The top 3 things that are holding you back from true influence are 1, no one outside your company knows that you're the expert. 2, you're probably trying to portray yourself as a perfect figure, even though you have vulnerabilities. And 3, you have to go out there and get clients to go and search for clients instead of having them come to you. Now, once again, my name's Leonard Kim. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm signing out. Goodbye.